first time on American television, an in-depth look at the largest documented UFO sighting in history. Every week since 1991, thousands of unidentified flying objects have been sighted over Mexico City. And there are people who believe this is just the beginning of an alien invasion predicted more than 3,000 years ago. The sightings began on July 11th, 1991. On that day, there was a total eclipse of the sun. One of the best places in the world to view the eclipse was Mexico City. And for the first time, because of the home video revolution, thousands of people pointed their video cameras to the skies.
Exactly at the time of the full solar eclipse, a disc-shaped craft appears over the city, hovers for over 30 minutes. 17 people on the ground recorded it on home video. And that's never happened before in the history of ufology.
When modern scientists forecasted the date of the historic solar eclipse, they weren't alone. Some believe the ancient Mayas also predicted the exact date of the eclipse more than 3,000 years ago. This Maya calendar made another startling revelation. It predicted that on the day of the eclipse, a new age of enlightenment would begin. It's referred to as the prophecy of the sixth sun.
The legend of the sixth sun, the new sun, signified by the great eclipse that just occurred, speaks of an opening of knowledge. The sixth sun indicates precisely the moment of its arrival.
Strangely, on the day of the eclipse, something did arrive in the skies over Mexico. Hundreds of those home video cameras that were shooting the eclipse got something completely unexpected. UFOs, unidentified flying objects, all videotaped by hundreds of different people. So far, more than 110 home videos have been verified as containing footage of unexplained craft.
It may sound difficult to believe in a city with almost 20 million people that practically every afternoon you can see a UFO.
Jaime Mason is one of the most respected television journalists in Mexico City today, hosting a Mexican version of 60 Minutes. Mason calls himself a former skeptic.
During the last year, thousands, and I would say hundreds of thousands of people have witnessed UFOs. What I feel is important as an investigative reporter is the fact that the evidence presented was never questioned. The credibility of the witnesses was attacked, not the proof that they presented.
People from all walks of life videotaped wave after wave of UFOs hovering in the sky. Sightings has obtained the exclusive U.S. rights to these historic tapes. One of the first to come forward with his home video was respected dentist Dr. Marco Antonio Rosas.
The people are definitely not nervous or afraid of the appearances of the UFOs. The people actually like the idea and feel that these appearances can bring some benefit to the Earth.
After the first tapes were released, more and more people came forward with tapes and photographs. Just outside Mexico City, in the town of Atlisco, the police chief revealed that he had photographs he could not explain. The chief had been trying to take surveillance photographs of a drug smuggler's plane, but when the photos were developed, a startling image was revealed.
And I said, "What is this?" I got upset. I threw the photographer out. I told him this was of no use to my investigation. I showed it to my assistant in the office. I said, "Look what this guy brought me." He said, "Hey, that's nice. What would you think if we blew it up?" So we called the photographer back in and I asked him to enlarge the picture. From there, all this came out. The truth is, I still don't know what's in that picture. It's a mystery to me.
Since the eclipse, the UFO sightings have continued week in and week out, and the acceptance of the phenomena by government officials has made even the most reticent eyewitnesses willing to come forward. Padre Ferrer, a priest at a local Catholic church, has seen and recorded these mysterious UFOs.
Christ speaks of his kingdom as not being from this world, that his angels would help him. But these writings are very dangerous and I don't like to use them. But I believe that There is a possibility. I believe there are a lot of possibilities. I came out to take a video of that pine tree against the light. When I came up, I saw the light appear over the mountain over there. It was not an ordinary light. It was blue and very intense. I've never been afraid of something like this. On the contrary, what I've been able to observe has been wonderful. Once a philosopher said, if God is outside of the truth, I'll stay with the truth. So I feel there is no contradiction.
Unlike the U.S., where UFO controversy most often takes place outside the media mainstream, the Mexico mass sightings are discussed openly on national television. Not everyone agrees the UFOs are extraterrestrial craft. But in Mexico, healthy debate on the true origin of these UFOs is encouraged. So, to rule out the possibility that these UFOs are conventional aircraft or an organized hoax, we had our videotape footage analyzed by David Froning, retired chief scientist at a major aerospace firm.
As far as the pictures of in-flight videos, this is about as good as I've seen. They demonstrate a field propulsion and technology that's far beyond anything that I'm aware of that we have today. Most scientists look at these things as not that these are phenomena that violate known physical laws, it's just that they're phenomena that our known laws cannot explain right now.
If these craft do defy the laws of physics as we know them, could they be alien spacecraft? Do they portend a visitation by an enlightened civilization, as some believe? Since our investigation, the sightings have gained international notoriety. 2 crews from Japan and a European team are there now. We'll keep you updated on their findings. Jose Escamilla used to be like a lot of other amateur sky watchers. He'd take his video camera outside and hope for the best. But in March of this year, Jose got something, a UFO streaking across the sky. And since then, he has shot more than 500 hours of what he believes is UFO footage. Where does Jose Escamilla live? 12 miles outside of Roswell, New Mexico.
We began taping UFOs on March 5th. I got a call and they said, come out to Midway, there's UFOs out here.
Midway, New Mexico is easy to miss if you're speeding by on the interstate. To the casual observer, it's just another small southwestern town. But look up. There, in broad daylight, strange craft are flying over the town. Sightings contacted local residents who have startling home videos of UFOs they just can't explain.
New Mexico as a whole has had a lot of sightings. And I think that there is a tremendous interest by our visitors, should we say, as to the activities that have taken place here in the past.
Here, just a stone's throw from Midway, near Roswell, New Mexico, a suspicious crash landing in 1947 launched modern interest in ufology. The Air Force insisted it was a downed weather balloon, and despite persistent rumors, continued to deny any knowledge of alien craft or life forms. But many people who live and work here believe otherwise, that this new flap of UFOs is connected to the original Roswell incident. Jose Escamilla owns a videotape facility in New Mexico and has shot hundreds of hours of beautiful southwestern scenery. But on March 5th, 1994, Escamilla saw his first UFOs. He immediately began videotaping.
We have a piece of film of a jet, I think it was a Citation, that flew right over the property. I guess it must have been about 500 or 600 feet. And we captured an object that comes from upper screen right on TV, and it goes right up behind the jet, and it seems to tag it on the tail or bump it. And you can see the object taken off away from the jet.
Because of his video background, some people were suspicious of Escamilla's footage. Local news reporter Lachelle Yates launched an investigation.
Given the history of Roswell and the crash, we thought it was interesting that here is a man who is capturing something unexplained on videotape. So we went out and videotaped in the same place that he videotapes, and we got identical objects on our video. So we feel that he's not tricking us with, you know, any video scam or anything. What he has captured on tape, we feel is authentic.
To date, Jose Escamilla has logged more than 500 hours of UFO videotape.
Every time we get a new tape and we find some new kind of object in there, there's an excitement that builds, and it's just like incredible. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
From the film footage I have seen, there appears to be some type of intelligence behind the phenomena. They represent a true enigma deserving of scientific scrutiny.
The Escamilla video is an excellent cross-section of the kinds of things that I see on videotapes.
Jim Delatosa specializes in computer-assisted analysis of film and videotape. Sightings asked him to examine a large sampling from Escamilla's footage. He has found a number of unnatural flight patterns.
What we find, you'll see, is that the object comes right in front of this telephone pole and then moves right up here and over top of the wires and out of the frame. Now, in calculating this distance from where it comes in over the trees and by analyzing the edges and going up over the poles, it's about 900 yards. And in that period of time, it's moving well over 3,000 miles an hour.
There are at least 4 military bases that are known to use the airspace over this part of New Mexico. And Area 51, the supposedly non-existent Air Force testing facility, would be only 10 minutes away for a stealth fighter. Are unidentified craft like these government-built and run? The Pentagon isn't talking.
When it comes to trying to get this information, the Air Force will come back on an initial generic request stating that they have no information. This is a lie.
The proximity to military bases in New Mexico and Escamilla making these videotapes is not just a coincidence. It follows a pattern.
Skeptics offer this as proof that UFOs are actually military aircraft. But much of Escamilla's footage reveals silhouettes and velocities that are not only unidentified by eyewitnesses, but also unimaginable by current standards of technology.
I'd like to find out what they are, period. If they're top secret military aircraft that the military's testing, I want an answer why they're doing such dangerous things out there, like bumping their own jets. That's number one. But if they are not, okay, I'd like to know what they may be.
Unidentified flying objects were sighted by thousands of eyewitnesses in Mexico City. A sightings investigative team has been keeping tabs on the Mexico sightings and report that they are not only continuing, but they are growing in frequency. In 1991, thousands of citizens in Mexico City looked to the heavens. Astronomers from around the world brought high-powered telescopes. Many people had video cameras. They were there to see the last full solar eclipse for 3 centuries. But as day turned to night, there was something else in the twilight sky. UFOs, lots of them, recorded at the same time by different people from locations throughout central Mexico. Mass sightings on this scale are rare, and ufologists describe the event as a flap. One journalist who witnessed the original mass sighting has spearheaded a continuing effort to understand what exactly is going on. Jaime Muson, Mexico's most respected television reporter and host of Mexico's version of 60 Minutes, is the guiding force behind a project to collate, archive, and study this flap.
From the day of the eclipse of July 11, 1991, we had the most incredible flap that has ever been recorded or keep it as evidence.
A police officer caught one view of a suspected craft from a surveillance camera set up to capture drug traffickers. And this daylight video footage was taken by a Catholic priest who believes the Bible supports the possibility of extraterrestrial life forms.
Christ speaks of his kingdom not being of this world, that his angels helped him. We are so small, and the universe is something so big that we cannot begin to understand all that is out there.
Why Mexico City? Why 1991? Some researchers found what they believe to be an answer in Mexico's ancient Maya culture. Pyramids south of Mexico City have given rise to the theory that these structures, built with extraordinary technical sophistication, were actually built with the assistance of an advanced extraterrestrial race. Were these pyramids built with a mysterious purpose in mind that has somehow beckoned extraterrestrial visitors back to the region centuries after the Maya civilization vanished? And then there is the astronomical calendar devised by the Maya centuries ago. Some archaeologists believe that the calendar accurately predicted the solar eclipse of 1991 and has also made predictions about UFO visitations.
The July 11th eclipse that we witnessed was forecasted thousands of years ago on the code of Dresden eclipse table of the Mayan civilization.
The Maya referred to the periods between eclipses as suns. These suns last up to 500 years.
The fifth sun ended on the eclipse of July 11th. It was predicted in some form, like the era of the New Enlightenment. The sixth sun is the return to the Epic of Enlightenment.
Could the continuing Mexico City flap be a harbinger of the Enlightenment predicted in the Maya calendar? Are the UFOs that have continued to appear almost daily since 1991 trying to send us a message? Hundreds of amateur videotapes have been shot in the search for that message.
It was an object that was flying overhead at a low altitude in the area which I live. It was an object in the form, shall we say, of a top. It was suspended over a tower. It was revolving around. It stopped spinning and began to move across. It hid itself behind a building.
I looked at the sky, and there were some bubbles. To me, it looked like a pearl. So I shot it with my camera. While I'm taping, I observed through the lens that it split or separated.
There is a concerted effort in both civilian and academic circles to get to the bottom of the UFO mystery. At El Grupo Sol, a Mexico City university, courses are taught in computer analysis of supposed UFO film and video. Videotapes have been pouring into the university since the project was first announced. Amateur videographers have formed clubs to compare notes, and courses are offered on the proper techniques for videotaping UFOs. While most of the videotapes collected so far offer only quick, tantalizing glimpses of suspicious objects, a few are worthy of serious consideration. On January 1st, 1993, several metallic-looking orbs were captured on tape.
Just in front of me, approximately 1,500 feet, I was looking to an object that I have never seen before. I can tell you that was not normal. It was suspended in the air. It was moving just a little bit to the sides, up and down, and left and right, in the same place for almost 15 minutes.
Manuel Lozcano was not the only person who witnessed the unusual New Year's Day event in 1993.
Thousands, I would say hundreds of thousands of people went to the streets of Mexico, and all of them looked at very strange things. This was a massive phenomenon. Then it's very difficult for the scientists or for the skeptics to try to say no or try to invent any kind of tale around this. It means now that we don't think the same way we did 3 or 4 years ago. And that's very important. If you really want to see what is going up there, you have to have an open mind, otherwise you won't see that. And I believe that American people should learn from this experience. I think that if you start looking to the sky with an open mind, you are going to see things that you never expected before.
The largest mass sighting anywhere in the world occurred over Mexico City on New Year's Day, 1993. Television and newspaper reporters couldn't chalk this one up to hysterical kooks.
We went to the building next door in order to tape the lights that all the people were watching. There were journalists and cameramen. First, there was one object, and then two.
With that crucial event on January 1st, journalists throughout Mexico went from reporters to eyewitnesses. La Prensa is Mexico City's second largest daily newspaper. Reporter Genoveva Ortiz's account of the New Year's flap was front page news.
I arrived at the editorial room around 3:30 in the afternoon when we began to notice a commotion among the people in the streets. The people were coming out of their homes, all the automobiles were stopping, and everybody was looking up at the sky.
A long time ago, there was this belief, I think among the media professionals, the journalists. But now, with so many occurrences, we believe, and we accept things the way they are. Photos, videos, people's comments. They have shown us that something more exists, right? Not just us.
While the ongoing UFO sightings are headline news in Mexico City, they remain virtually unreported in the American media. Are we missing a rare opportunity to learn about long-term UFO sightings? Why are journalists here so nonchalant about the Mexico flap? Sightings brought several of the Mexican videotapes to a video engineer in Nevada. He uses the same image analysis computer used by the Department of Defense to enhance raw satellite data. Because of the sensitive nature of his work, he is asked to remain anonymous. His analysis of the tapes revealed startling details that Mexican investigators had not previously seen.
Initially, we took some time to look at a blow-up and enlargement of the object that everybody sees in the motion video, and happened to see a flash of light down in this area of the screen. We went down there and enlarged it, and we see something here that doesn't seem to follow the general geometry of the image. There seemed to be another spot right in here. This area in here was flashing or strobing occasionally. And here we saw, again, something that didn't seem to be sensible with the rest of the image. It's pretty much not anything that we can readily identify as an existing aircraft or helicopter.
Why are reporters in the United States disinterested in the largest continuing mass sighting in recorded history? Why do they treat as suspect tens of thousands of eyewitnesses and over 1,500 videotapes?
If you want to be really truthful and you believe this is real, you have to tell it. It doesn't matter if it's risky. It doesn't matter if they are going to tell you that you are crazy. It doesn't matter if you lose your credibility, if you are acting as an honest man.
As the Mike Wallace of Mexico, Jaime Maussan has reason to be concerned about his credibility. But the mass sightings Maussan has witnessed fuel his passion.
And many people was afraid when I started presenting this if I was going to lose my credibility. I am an investigator. My duty is to investigate, and my duty is to do it for the benefit of the people. If you have the courage and you believe in it, and it's true, you will be supported by people. And to do that is very risky, and I know that's why many of my partners, probably in the United States, don't do that.
On balance, Maussan and his colleagues throughout Mexico have not reported alien abductions, extraterrestrials disguised as DEA agents, or intergalactic ultimatums. They are simply reporting what they are seeing and what they believe they will continue to see for years to come.
If they are here, we will be there tomorrow. They are proving with their presence here that it's possible to travel through the stars. It's the only reason science hasn't accepted the presence of these beings here, because we don't know how to travel these tremendous distances in the stars or in the universe between the galaxies. But if they are here, now they are telling us, hey, take it easy, take it easy. It's possible to travel through the stars, and it's all that matters at this moment.